I bet you won't. I bet you won't.
Yeah.
Oh, they played this at the Abbey last night.
Yeah.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and plan. Knowing my mother getting older now, don't got no time. Gotta keep it going for the road.
Oh, no, she fucking
Yeah. To the hundred, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm a pull four in the fucking white sand.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
7, 8.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan, and this is Nice and Neat. And we got some incredible guests here today. We
Yes,
have
sir.
some industry leaders who have worked with some of the most profound people in the industry,
Yes, sir.
such as Tiana Taylor, Kourtney Kardashian, Saweetie. The list goes on and on. This episode here today that we're doing is for the culture. This is for the culture. This is to allow both sides to be able to speak, because really there's no sides here. Everybody is one, and we just want this conversation to really bring those pieces together and keep us real tight, man. We got some of our friends here today. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What's poppin'?
What up?
Big Daddy.
What's up, EJ? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's good, man? What's good?
Hey, so talk to us about, I want you guys to introduce yourselves. Tell us what your name is, what you do, a little bit about yourselves. We can start with you, EJ.
What's going on? I'm EJ King. I'm a celebrity stylist turned, I guess you would say, TV personality and getting into acting. I've been living in LA for about 15 years now. So in the business about 15 years.
You made it.
I knew you wasn't from here.
I was born in Orange County. My counterpart likes to beg to differ that I was not, but this is my home too.
Okay.
We do matter in Orange County.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm known for so many different things, but fashion and my flamboyant look is one of the two.
That's funny you say fashion. I when I first met you, it was like in fitness, right?
Yeah, because I was fat.
You was in fitness?
Yeah. Watch it out. Right. So I went through like this big weight journey for the last few years of my life, and so I got into fitness really, really heavy.
Yeah.
That's where I met y'all at, and so a few doctor visits and a few gym visits.
Okay.
Come on, honesty.
Brian.
What's up? I'm Brian Javar, wardrobe and fashion stylist, creative director. I'm known for a lot of my work. I work with City Girls, Saweetie. I've worked with Chloe Bailey. I've worked on television shows and commercials. Why are you looking at me like that?
I mean, that wasn't a deep bitch.
It did get deeper. I didn't know if you were putting your face like this.
Yeah, so I'm from LA, Compton to be exact. I'm a hood nigga by heart.
Okay.
LA raised, LA born, all that. And I'm here.
To stay.
Well, hello. What's up, everybody? My name is Jay Ryan. I am born and raised LA. I am CEO of a marketing PR company called Fly Life Entertainment. I am recently an artist and killing it. Yeah, recently an artist, and I too am now starting my own podcast.
Okay.
Hello.
Have you heard?
Oh, have you heard? Do you have socials for it?
It's on the Kaluma network.
Okay.
But yeah, it hasn't started yet. But
Okay.
Me and EJ actually just filmed 2 episodes recently, so it's coming.
Y'all
soon.
doing it together?
He's gonna be a reoccurring guest host because he's actually going on tour. But yeah, pretty much.
Tight, bro. Tight.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate you guys for taking your time and coming on the show. We really wanted to have this episode. We've been talking about this for a while now. And we wanted to do something where we kind of bridge that gap between gay men and straight men, right? We understand there is a barrier that's there, right? No one ever talks about it, but it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we kind of want to do our part and help diffuse the notion that gay men and straight men have to be uncomfortable around each other, right? So we know you guys. We thought you guys would be the perfect people to come on the show and talk to us because we're comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well, thanks for having us.
Nah, for real. Thanks for coming.
Nah.
Thanks for coming. We all have our own individual relationship with each one of you guys,
Right?
But like people don't see that outside of whenever we cross each other in a social setting. So we wanted to sit down and talk pretty much and explain to everybody why it's cool.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then and really just show people like there are commonalities, right? There's
Yeah.
overlap that we both can kind of that we both have that makes us similar. And I want to ask you, right? The first question I want to ask you, right? What is your relationship, generally speaking, with like straight men?
Me, in particular, I always have more straight friends than gay friends. So I was always super close with straight men. Jalon being one of them.
Yeah.
We actually pretty much grew up together since high school days, and I didn't until I met them later on. I didn't have gay friends. So it was like straight was all I knew. So I was able to always bridge the gap and tell my straight friends shit, get over it. It doesn't matter. They're not
So
into you.
you really didn't have that problem, man.
No, it was weird. I always felt like for the longest time, straight men would say to me "Oh, but you're different." That's what they would say to me. "Oh, but you different."
What do you mean? What do you mean by different?
That was their way of saying. That was their way of saying we fuck with you. They would be like, "Oh, I don't fuck with." They didn't really fuck with gay people, but they'd be like, "But you different.
You're the exception.
You're not flamboyant. You're not extra." These are the words that they would use. You're not extra. You're not out. You know what I'm saying? And for the longest time, I actually liked that. It wasn't until later that I was like. I was
Not
like,
really a compliment.
no, I didn't. That's why I said for the longest time.
No,
I
I'm saying
liked
when
it.
you
And
realize.
then it was later that I realized, damn, that's whack. And then I was able to start telling people, because even using the word extra, they'd be like, well, some gay niggas, they just extra. And I'm like, but I know straight people that are extra. So
Right.
what's the difference? You know what I'm saying?
And for me, growing up, I've always had straight friends, but I didn't have gay friends, obviously, until after high school when I was able to be comfortable with myself and come out with who I am and accept it rather. My relationship with straight men, I think I've found a place to be able to be myself no matter what room I'm in. So the same person that I am around my gay friends that I am around my straight friends, my female friends and all of that, when I was able to make that person coexist in every space is when I became comfortable to be able to be comfortable with anybody that's whether if they're gay or straight.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I have noticed with a lot of my straight friends, they're they like it, they're cool. It's a lot of my friends, their wives, that are like, yo, such and such has never had a relationship with a gay male because for him it was what he saw on television or what his dad told him was not cool and so on and so forth. And you broke the barrier of that because of not just because you're not super flamboyant or you're not super this, but you're just who you are. And you're a black man that's a Christian that happens to be gay. And that's where I stand. Me being gay, my sexuality, who I lay down with doesn't define who I am as a person. That's just happens to be who I get my nut with.
Yep.
And, so, and who I date. That's not who I am. I'm not a gay black man. That's not who, my sexuality doesn't define me. So I think for me, that's kind of helped navigate my friendships with gay men. I mean, with straight men rather, because they don't look at me as a gay man.
Right. Did you find that when you started to become comfortable with yourself, that it almost kind of made a straight man take his guard down and
Absolutely.
say okay, this dude is actually cool?
Yeah, because for me personally, I would be in situations where they'll talk about, if you're talking about, oh, you knocked this girl down, you knocked this bitch down, I'm telling you about what niggas is the same circle that I knocked down as well.
Yeah.
And for some, in the beginning, they would be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But it's you're not going to talk about your experiences and I'm not going to talk about mine.
100%.
What you do is, I'm supposed to accept as normal. What I do, you have to accept as normal.
Yeah. And I think that for me, I have an older brother that we fought like Bloods and Crips.
brothers. Like brothers.
No,
Like
we
Bloods
fought.
and Crips.
We fought a little harder than brothers because I used him as the template for what straight men were in the world because my natural gravitation is to women. So I've always gravitated to my grandmother, my mom, my cousins. With my brother, he was the football star. He liked wrestling. He'll watch wrestling. I'll watch My Little Pony. That's just what I liked.
Yeah.
But I did things in hindsight to be I want to do or be like him. So I played football. I played every sport. And then as I got older, I realized I don't like it, you know? And so I used him as, well, you are the person that I will have to deal with in the real world. So I learned to have thick skin because we would bag on each other, you know? And so I had like high school. I always had like high school little shit, but I've never been the one to be bullied or beat up or displaced for who I was. It's always actually more accepted for me.
Well,
And so,
for the listeners, EJ is about 6'3".
period.
Ain't nobody trying. Right.
So before,
And he's still a man.
and that's,
And that's
EJ
without
is
his
a
heels.
hustler.
EJ dead left in 315.
Hey, nah, it's not.
and that's
Hey,
what it
shit ain't
was,
sweet.
you know. And so
Nah.
for that, I learned to adapt to what straight culture was because I used him as a template. So anybody else, I already was prepared for the shits if it was ever going to be that. So I never had to go through it because I could joke. I'm a shit talker.
Yeah.
My mouth has always been crazy. So I've always got away with the idea of my sexuality because either I was funny or I danced or I just had all the fly homegirls.
Yeah.
So it would be like, well, shit, EJ got the badge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was always been that. So as I got older, I just really took that and it really transferred over to adulthood. And I think one of the first people that told me this whole scenario was Nelly, and we were doing apple bottoms.
Yeah.
And he was like, they were like, where's EJ gonna ride? They were like, well, he can just ride on the bus. But I remember Nelly saying, like, I've never had a nigga on this bus that A, wasn't my friend, but I've never had a gay man on my bus. And so them being from St. Louis and them being, you know, country in this world, they already had their own idea of what gay was. And so he came to me, he was like, man, you really helped change my mind and my eyes on what a gay man was, because he's like, you're not the stereotype, you know. He was like, damn, you funny as fuck, you know, like you cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So today, that is one of like my closest friends because he never seen sexuality. He always just seen like, yo, you a good dude. So I always use my brother as kind of like my template for like men in the world, you know?
Yeah.
Yo, it seems like, and I don't know about you, Jay Ryan, because you said something about knowing Jelon since high school, but it seems like the two of you, Brian and EJ, you know, began to get comfortable after high school, right?
Yeah.
What about you? Like, what kind of gave you guys the courage to become comfortable to then make, I guess, others comfortable? Because that's basically what you guys are saying, right?
Yeah.
Once you guys let your guards down or shield down, others were able to let their guards down.
In high school, my high school, like you couldn't be out. Like it wasn't like there weren't out kids in my high school. I was always a pretty boy, so it was like I was always getting like already like, oh, you gay, like gay ass, like that was like everybody's go to. But I was always a funny person, so I had jokes, I could clown. So like people could not get with me when it came to clowning. Like I walked through the door, I got 10 for you already, just in my mind. But everybody's go to come back when they were losing a battle was whatever, you gay, you get what I'm saying? But I did have all the I had I did. I had all the either as friends, I had a girlfriend. I knew I was gay, but I wasn't comfortable with myself. I wasn't comfortable with putting out. And because I hadn't been sexual with a guy yet, I was telling myself I'm not gay yet. Because I just felt like, well, until I actually do it, I ain't gay. You know, like that's how I thought in my head. But I think the biggest thing that I learned after high school was it just was nobody's business. I think the biggest thing with straight men is they feel like, well, I just feel like you lying. And it's just like, but it's none of your business. Like, why is me telling you, like, just saying it, I'm gay, your business? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not that I'm in the closet. It's not that I'm hiding who I am. It's just I don't feel the need to have to express to you. Yeah. So, and me being, I'm a smart ass. So naturally, when girls would ask, I didn't care. I'd be like, yeah. When guys would ask, I would say, why? Why do you want to know? Because unless you're coming over here to holler at me and shoot your shot, what is it of importance for me to say to you, yes, I'm gay?
Is that because that's kind of a defense mechanism that you already kind of knew?
100%.
You already knew, I know why you're asking me
exactly.
this, because then you're going to start
100%.
But it's an honest question. It is a why, because I only ask questions for things I'm curious about.
That's true.
I don't care.
Well, you know that now.
To do with me.
Well, even then, I mean, to his point, that's a great question that I would say, like, but what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Because as a person, you either like me or you don't. Regardless, you don't know who I sleep with.
Right.
So you're asking me because of your own sense of insecurities. Yeah. So it is a question of not a defense, but it is a real question to know why is this important to you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember in my best friend in junior high school, we ended up going to 2 different high schools. He ended up going to Taft. I ended up going to Granada. We ended up re-seeing each other in college at Valley College out here. I personally didn't want to go to a junior college because it was like all the schools in one. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So when I seen him, he was like, yo, what up? Like all excited to see me. We got to reconnect, bro. I miss you. Take down my number. Exchange numbers with this nigga. Later on that day, I get a text from him, and he was like, yo, I meant to ask you, like, are you gay now? And I responded back, like, why? And he was like, because, I just don't want you trying to holler at me or nothing. And I'm just thinking to myself, like,
You're
nigga,
my friend.
I wasn't looking to be your friend again. Let's be clear. 1. 2, you asked me for my number, but yet you're asking me if I'm gay. I just thought that was so weird. Yeah. So I completely just cut him off. Later on, I would say like a year or 2 later, he ended up reaching out to me and was like, yo, I want to apologize to you. Like, I was so dead ass wrong for that. I don't even know why I said that. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, that for the longest time, that is what straight men thought. If you were gay, you had a crush on me automatically. Mm-hmm. And
which is crazy.
We still have types.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? We still like,
still human.
Just like you guys have a type of girl you like, we have a type of nigga we like. Yeah. So it was like one of those things where it was just like the nerve. And it's usually the ugliest motherfucker that usually thinks that you want him because you're gay and he's straight. And I'm like, ew.
Just because you gay don't mean.
You can't get me just like you can't get the bitches that you're trying to get.
And for me, like in high school, I was class president, popular. And so the question would be asked all the time, like, is Brian gay? Is Brian gay? And at the moment, I was bi-ish, but I was gay-ish. But I was still trying to find myself. And so for me, it was very much like, why does it matter? And so I, in particular, was like friends with a lot of the girls, but then it would be like more of like the basketball, football, and like the hood that would be always inquiring about. It was never the nerds. It was never like, and it is like, is Brian gay? Is Brian gay? It's like, why does it matter? Like, I'm not going out of my way trying to like hang out with y'all. So like, I'm not making you uncomfortable. So why are you worrying about like who I'm having phone sex with when we go home? Like, cause we ain't fucking. Like we in. It's 11th, 12th grade. Party line. Definitely party line. So after high school, I was like comfortable with myself and was like, fuck it. Like, and I remember I went on a telling everybody I'm gay spree because like that's what I felt I needed to do for myself, not for anybody else.
Aggressively too.
I would assume,
I'm saying like what I did. I was like aggressive.
I would assume life is just better like that for
it did feel better because most people that I told was like, nigga, I already knew, or it's like some niggas was like, cool.
It was definitely.
I see you have a lot of female clients.
Yes.
You have some of the top in the world, right? Do you feel like once men figure out your sexuality or they understand your sexuality, you see it, you lose out on jobs, or you feel like, because I don't really see you personally styling too many men. Is that just something you're not into? Or
for me personally, I would like to style men, but it's just been more so. It's been more of an easier thing just to style
more
women.
Stylish.
Yeah, it's like it's more silhouettes, more things you get to have more fun. I do style men, just not as much as I style women. I haven't really had too many experiences of, oh, he's gay, so he can't style me type of thing. Like I did Love and Hip Hop season 1 and season 2 of Hollywood. So I did like the promos and all that shit. And I never got anything from anybody being uncomfortable. These are very like macho hip hop men, and never gave like he's gay, less like he can't be around me. I don't want him to see me get dressed, step out the room type of thing. I don't know what you just said, and I don't want to hear it. But yeah, no, so I've never personally experienced that. I have experienced that with some people's significant others, where I felt an energy, I felt a uncomfortable thing.
Like you're styling the
styling
woman
someone,
in the relationship, and then
and their person is around, and their significant others around, and I pick up on energy. You can pick up on it. It's something that you can't like really explain. You just get it because they'll come in the room. They'll be very short with their wife or girlfriend or whatever it is, and like they'll give you a head nod or they'll give you a dap. Like they don't want to shake your hand too much. Yeah. So I've experienced that from people not that I worked with, but from the others.
I think so. From the first question, I think the confidence came from me in the sense of I used to dance a lot. So back in the day, you either were a gangbanger or you clown walked and you was a dancer. And so that was the easy bridge, because when clown walking came about, it allowed boys to be able to be a little more flamboyant because they bounced their butt or they did this or they did so. The idea of sexuality was kind of not as prominent because dancing was always so fluid throughout.
You was trying to be on the Tommy the Clown
I
circuit?
was definitely on Tommy the Clown shit.
You were?
Thank you. Yes, I was.
Hey,
You was a Tommy the Clown?
Woo! Hey, shit, the fucking first half's getting crazy. What's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the Nice and Neat Halftime Show. I'm your host, man, and we've had a very interesting and entertaining first half with some three great gentlemen here. And you guys know what we like to do here. We like to get into some games. We're going to explain it to them. Actually, I'm going to kick it to Duke. He's going to do that. Dim the rules. Duke, explain it to him how we get down and what it is.
All right, so check this out, man. Dim the Rules is a segment that's completely unrelated to what we're talking about. We're going to ask you a question that people ask us on our YouTube that we usually answer, but since we got y'all here, y'all going to answer it.
Got it.
All right, so the question is, if you from a lady named Abu.
Hey, boo.
Hey, boo.
Hey, boo, boo.
From a lady named Abu, I'm going to assume, all right? She says, if you got a boyfriend, right, you've been dating this man for 2 years, and he always forgets your birthdays, always forgets your anniversaries, the stuff that women like, right? But he still expects you to do things like plan dates and evenings and cook and things like that. Should she leave him?
Yes.
Well,
So none of this.
You forget my
I don't know.
birthday.
Why?
If my friends forget my birthday, I'm pissed. Let alone somebody that you're actually
But
sleeping with.
But it's birthday and anniversaries.
But I'm very forgetful.
But those are two different
I'm
things.
very
But
forgetful.
you want her to then plan certain
No,
things.
you want him. No, let's keep it.
No, I'm saying like she wants him. I mean, he wants her to plan certain things.
I just think that the whole question reads as that's really not your nigga. Let that go. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think in hindsight of
So-
I'm very bad with birthdays and dates.
Okay, just to give context, last show we did a red flags. What are red flags, right?
That's a red flag.
Is that a red
That's a
flag?
statement.
100%.
Because if
But
you're
it's also
getting
like
birthdays
this.
and anniversaries, anything that is importance to her, so
Yeah.
it's not you're not setting a part of what you
be
don't think is
important.
important. You don't think about what she thinks is important.
To EJ's and him being forgetful, it's also up to you to like, oh, my birthday's coming up. You get what I'm saying? Like, say it. Like, it's almost like you're trying to.
really?
In a relationship?
Really?
Like, no way.
Sometimes I feel like-
you know your
Sometimes I
person.
feel like people be trying to set people up for failure.
No.
Me personally, I plan my birthday months in advance. So I'm like,
does.
everybody,
So listen,
you're
but
never
listen,
going to forget
but
my
listen,
birthday
but
because
those are
I'm always talking
surface-based
about it.
things.
But let me tell
That's
you.
very
in
surface
this-
based. If you are in a relationship with somebody for you guys have spent more than
No
365
excuse.
days times 2 together.
No,
that's
yeah.
no, hear me out. Because what you're saying, I hear you, but that's surface based. That's your friends. Like when you're with somebody else, there's a certain thing and there's a certain liking and a certain care that you're supposed to have. So you're not supposed to forget my birthday. You're not supposed to forget our anniversary. So I am not going to
100%.
remind you.
What day your grandma's birthday?
That's different.
I'm not
I get
going-
what he's saying, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes, like,
No, it's a
sometimes,
great
like, I'm not
22nd.
gonna set myself up to get hurt either, though. Like,
But that's
if I know this
surface
nigga
based.
about to forget my
Also-
birthday,
but you also
all it's gonna do
know-
is piss me off even
You also
more. So
know
it's
your
like,
person.
why set it
So
up?
if
person.
you are a forgetful nigga, if you are a person that
You got-
naturally just don't remember shit all the time or don't.
You didn't forget
and-
the new Madden came out.
But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, new Madden was promoted.
Exactly.
You knew it was coming.
I'm not promoting my birthday.
That's
So
a
what I'm
valid
saying
point.
Is
But I do
sometimes
promote my
in this
birthday.
day and
different.
age,
You're promoting for your friends,
where
not for
everything
your
is so
loved one.
social and everything is so on the go, I literally forgot a friend's birthday yesterday. I was like, fuck. They was like, and I said, it wasn't that. I was busy at work.
But
I was busy
friends-
That's
running around.
different.
But I'm
Regardless,
just saying,
yes,
I'm just
you should
saying,
leave him.
where we are.
Leave that and go get some new.
Can't leave him because he not really for you no way.
He's not for
He's
you.
really the side chick. That's the problem.
right,
so
so
you know that wife.
Dim the
birthday.
rules.
So
Dim the rules.
check it out. Hold on. Before we move on to this next topic, I do want to ask you guys about Boosie, right?
Who?
Ooh.
Boosie.
Booty.
Is it Is Boosie?
Lil Boosie.
Booty.
Lil Boosie.
Trash.
Lil
Booty.
Boosie.
All right, there's a lot of
It is trash, is what it is.
There's a lot of
ugly as
conversation and narrative around Lil Nas, Boosie and Lil Nas. All right, and Boosie saying, I don't know if you don't like the guy, but he said a lot of things about Lil Nas, and he's been the subject of a lot of his conversations.
So-
right. So, what is y'all take with what he's saying? Do you guys see any accuracy in what he's saying about Lil Nas at all?
No, because I don't like Bootsy. So let me tell you, I think that ignorance is bliss, and I don't like the idea that people say, "Oh, that's just Bootsy," Because once you get into this business, once you become a public figure, there's certain things that you then realize that you have to learn to adapt to. I don't give a fuck if Bootsy was from the ghetto of the ghettos. You are now a public figure that your voice and your opinions on a situation. The same way we got on DaBaby. Where they said, oh, DaBaby didn't know. There's a whole day dedicated to AIDS. I don't give a fuck if you don't know enough about it, but you know it's a big enough thing that the world's dedicated a day to it. So with Bootsy, not only are you shaping the minds of young, ignorant kids that look up to you, that think this is okay, you're now making the idea of somebody else's vision and dream and you a demise of who they are. Because if Brian said, I want to do an all pink room in clouds. This is your vision, your money, what you decide to bring to life. If that was your vision, your money for your artistry, who am I to say, that's fucked up, that's whack, or that's this, or that's that, for you bringing, but you bring together your artistry with a bunch of naked and a bunch of guns or drugs or whatever, but that's okay. I think that Bootsy is a hypocrite. I think that he's ignorant. I think that the people that stand for Bootsy, that rock with Bootsy, I don't think that nothing that Nas is doing is anything different than any other artist that's pushed the envelope in their own way has done. I love Cardi B to death. Cardi also did Press. Cardi had 1,000 naked bitches in the video. Right. We loved it. It was like dope. Oh my God. So it's weird because Nas wanted to recreate
no
his
consistency.
own version. My thing is the double standards is always been there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so Nas, this is his dream as a young black man, whether he's trolling or not. I like the fact that he takes his negatives and he turns into his positives and he trolls you back.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I
issue
love
that
about
I
it.
have with the whole Boosie thing is that, like, unfortunately, he might have a very close loved one that may be into what Nas is doing that speaks to them. And now because of this person that they're so close with, that they look up to, that they're related to, they can now not be happy. They can't express themselves and liking something because of what he is saying is so wrong and so against. And it's like, what this person is doing is not bothering you. He's doing something to help and represent for certain people. But now somebody that you is a loved one to you can't even be who they want to be because of what you're saying is wrong. So now they can't even stand up to you.
You know, he's on record for saying that, like, he has people that work with him that are gay.
So that's just like saying
hold on,
I have a white friend, so I have a black friend, so I'm not racist.
But he's also the same man saying I'm
Correct.
gonna beat the gay out of my kid.
So, but he also said that if his daughter was gay, he wouldn't support the marriage. Right. So like he said, you know, he would wish them the best, but he wouldn't attend the wedding.
Now is a problem really though with what he's saying or how he's saying it?
It's both.
The problem is you cannot say that this man is
disgrace.
manipulating or trying to turn their children into something, and what you're doing as far as returning hate
still as
is not-
disruptive.
you're doing the same thing.
Okay.
So you're trying to dismiss him by proving your point, but the point is you're still proving, because you had the little kid get the fuck online and say, oh, we're gonna get him some shit so we can he can the get him, whatever the little boy said, Boosie's son said.
Right.
And as a father, you stood behind it. We got to know about him. Oh, and also they something about they were talking about D-Wade's son.
D-Wade's son.
That's when Boosie first got to fuck on my nerves, because at the end of the day, as a black man raising a child that came to you and said, hey, I don't feel comfortable in this body. I think I'm born in the wrong gender.
Hold that dog, bro. Wrap this halftime up.
Yeah.
Hold that. That's a great dog because I want to come back to that.
Yep. Now, I think that was an awesome halftime. We got to get into the second half because we're running out of time. And, you know, I just want to kick it back to Duke, who's I think is going to kick it back to EJ, pick up our point. But we'll conclude this halftime show the only way we know how. That's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course. Let's get into the second half. Let's go.
So you just mentioned D-Wade's son, right? I had a question. Do you think that people are born gay?
Yes. I was born like there's nothing about me that has ever, like, even when I dated women, I knew that this was something I didn't want. We battle it because as children, we're raised to think that this is bad because the Bible says X, Y, and Z, and that becomes a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But you're raised to think one way.
Yeah.
I knew I never liked women. So I don't think for myself that I was never influenced. I liked what I liked. I gravitated to what I gravitated to it. As a kid, you don't know why you like something. You just like it. I did not like sports. I hated watching football on Sundays. I wanted to do other things that may have been considered gay or flamboyant or other than straight regular kid, little boys.
And speaking on D Wade's daughter, I think the biggest misconception with that whole situation and other rappers and everybody being so much in their family business was the fact that D Wade came out and said that my daughter identifies as a woman, as a girl. Everybody took it like he was going to go get this child a surgery. And I think that's what the biggest argument was amongst everybody. And that's never what he was doing. He was just respecting the fact that his son said that I identify as a girl. So I'm going to honor that and talk to you as such. But everybody was like, oh, you're going to go get this child surgery. And it's just like, but he never said that he was getting the daughter surgery.
And the thing that bothers me as well is that, like, in the black community alone, it's like, be who you are, but the moment that you are who you are being,
don't fit the
don't be
then
that
it's like, oh, I don't want you. That's too much of you being you. And it's like,
now you actually.
I told you I'm gay. Now it's like, because now I'm on a deal. Now I tell you I'm gay. Oh, then I don't like this. Well, now I don't feel like I'm born in the right gender. Oh, you're being too much of you. And it's like, all right, bitch, which y'all want me to be? Y'all like the world and unfortunately in the black community want us to fit into a society
y'all stereotype. They want us to be y'all. That's not that.
I was just about to say that, like, we are all a victim of trying to fit a certain mold.
Right.
Absolutely.
We're all that, right? So I think that it does affect us when the world is telling us to be one thing, and then we be that, or we be that all the way to say, yo, be confident in who you are, be true to yourself, right? That's what everyone says.
Right.
And then when we do that, it's like, hold on.
It's like, that's too much of you being
It's
you.
conflicting, and it does make us think like, hold on,
because
it's a weird space.
Because it sucks because the world wants us to be you guys, but then you guys are intimidating to the world. And us as gay people, we're not intimidating. We are the soft ones. We're the acceptable version of if I was a tall black man. You know what I'm saying?
You
And
are.
No.
I told you
And
he was 6'3".
Even as getting into this business as a stylist, I always had to understand that is you can either walk in the room and you can be the intimidating factor, or you can be walking in the room and you can be the factor that they be like, oh my God, he's so lovable. Jay Ryan's a little different, and I always say this because it happens with brown skin and dark and light skin. Jay Ryan's automatically lovable. He's accepted as far as
Is
like
that skin color?
He's not,
Of course.
So as a tall black man, you can either be
That
overbearing.
fits the mold as a typical.
Right.
Okay.
So, but in black society, we're supposed to be these big, strong, masculine men to uphold the community. When that's weird because as a flamboyant gay man, I'm probably the richest person in my family. So I want to understand where sexuality makes you less than, because if being gay stopped you from being successful or it stopped you from breaking barriers that straight men haven't done, then I will have a problem with it. But I can't sit here and say, and it goes back to your question earlier about confidence, I've never had issues with people, period, with accepting me. I put the issues onto myself, you know? So when I got with Chris, I would call even Jay Ryan, I'd be like, even my hair was 30 inches. I was like, damn, I don't know if my hair gonna be long because I don't want this shit to, for people to start talking shit or to see it one way and da-da-da. When he seen me, he was like, all right, John, it was more of an acceptance thing on my behalf. And Brian and Jay Ryan are the two that I we know a lot of people, but when I met Jay Ryan, I was like, oh shit, people fuck with you like they fuck with me? Like, I've never had an issue with no straight man that I've ever worked with.
Me and O were talking yesterday, and I was telling him about the movie Moonlight. How I feel like the movie was not made. I mean, it was made for gay black men and gay men in general, but I honestly feel like it was made for heterosexual men and heterosexual women. And the reason being is that it showed a masculine man that was like a drug dealing nigga still being who he was, but he happened to like men. And I think that for watching that movie, it was very informative for black gay men, for their friends to know that, like, damn, this nigga can be an NBA star, can be playing NFL, be a rapper, and he might not want to fuck the bitches that I'm. In this world, a lot of men have to see that, where a lot of people would be more comfortable who they are if their friends or their family members didn't make them so uncomfortable.
Right.
And so
That's
back
facts.
to what you guys were saying earlier of like why after high school did we become more comfortable, is because we happen to find ourselves. But there are niggas now that I was dealing with a nigga like 2-3 years ago who was 8 years senior to me, closer to 40, and I found out that his family didn't know he was gay, and I'm like, Like, how they don't know? But for me, it was shocking because it was like,
He was
you're
already
very
so much
successful
older.
in your career.
Yeah.
You're all this, but like when you go back home to your country family, you have to paint this thing of like, oh, this is my roommate, this is my friend, that type of thing. And it's like, you literally about to be 40 and you aren't out.
I just want to, because there's always different variations of gay. The thing with Jay Ryan and Brian is, unless he talk, you really don't know they're gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the men dynamic for them is different. For me, I'm very I'm very androgynous and flamboyant.
Right.
So my take on it is almost a little different because off the back, he gay. You know, and that's that.
I don't need to ask questions.
You don't ask no questions.
Yeah.
So my demeanor has always been in a room full of niggas that it's a very high energy, like I don't give a fuck type demeanor, you know? And it just reminds me when I think I seen y'all two in the gym. I used to work out with Seth. So
No limit. Yep.
Yeah. So off rip, Duke already looked unapproachable. He already looked like he a nigga. And Omar, he was cool, but it can come off intimidating. I've never been one to assume anything about anybody. So, but I also won't speak. So if I walk in the room, we'll be standing right there. There's been a few times I think we've all been in the same things, and I can be standing right here and won't speak, and I've had to learn to break that because in my brain, you already have the stereotype or the stigma, like, oh, y'all think y'all gonna try to,
We're doing the same thing.
That's
Right.
so funny that
Yeah.
you
You
talk
know
about
what I
that
mean?
at the gym, because that happens a lot. When I used to go to like regular gyms, there would be a lot of men that would not speak, that would walk past and like give this energy. And then the moment that one of their homeboys is speaking, then it opened like, oh, I can talk to this nigga because I think he gay, but now I can be cool with him because I see such and such
cool.
talking to
Right.
him. That happens a lot.
because we don't give it a chance.
It's
and I
funny
think-
because me at the gym is like people think I'm the asshole for not speaking. Cause I just go to the gym and I'll be focused and niggas be like, damn,
Me
you
too.
don't
That's
speak.
why I
Like,
look
that's
up.
it's
just
like
the
me,
idea
I just
of
do not pay attention
my
because
demeanor is different.
Yeah.
You know, I will come to the gym and I'll probably have tights on, or my hair be long, or
waist
this and that,
trainer.
or that.
EJ,
Right, but I'm,
EJ, speaking of your hair, I wanted to ask because I met EJ with a lace front, and I was lining him up. His mustache. right?
yeah.
So, you know, I mean, and he was just cool from the beginning. It wasn't I didn't need to ask him like what's going on here or anything like
but I was
that.
probably shit talking.
It definitely was
Definitely
doing
shit
that.
talking.
He go definitely do that to make sure everybody could be comfortable. You know, he could get these
Because
jokes
it's
off
y'all
as well.
comfort. My comfort is not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask you. I want to leave you with this question. You know, you wear lace fronts, but you still get mustache. You still got a mustache, and you're still very.
Uncle
You know how to
Clifford.
switch it up. You know how to switch it
Not too
up
much.
whenever
Right.
you get ready. And I did want to ask because just for our listeners, most importantly, do you identify by any specific pronoun?
So this is
or,
so weird. And-
like how
and
does the
this-
pronoun? How does pronouns?
And this
exactly work?
question gets asked. The lady at the airport, she
asked
was
it.
like, I just want to know, did you go by name? Or you know what I said, I said, it's really only just because of my hair.
No.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
no.
That's it.
really
No, that's
it.
really it.
It's
That's
not.
it.
No, because at the end of the day, I could be, you didn't ask Prince. Nobody asked Prince back in the day, was Prince a female?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was the most flamboyant nigga with his ass out and heels and lip gloss and hair. So only because of the demeanor of where we are today, you only asked that question. Because I didn't get asked that question when I had dreads, and my dreads was past my butt.
Yeah.
So it's strictly only because of my hair, which it doesn't offend me because it is what it is. But I don't ever want to be a woman. I have no
Intention.
aspiration ever to be a woman. I did it for Halloween. I feel like I look like Tu Wong Fu. I really didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? But hair, I've always equate hair to beauty. I always loved the idea of hair and changing up your identity with hair. So I don't, and even now, like I remember I had my hair braided down and I had a do-rag on. And it's like, damn, nigga, where the fuck your hair at? And it threw me off because it's like, damn, how you recognize I don't have hair? But because everybody always says, like, I don't see a guy with a wig or hair, I just see EJ. And the reality is I have hair, my hair is braided down, I just don't have my hair out, but I do so much, and dreads was one thing I got because I was like, damn, I want hair, but I hate dreads. I hated my dreads. I never, but they were easy enough to be able to have hair and still be masculine. So when we picked them out, I was like, oh shit, it's free going from there. But hair to me is an expression of outfits and stuff like that. But I don't identify in
I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
What have your experiences been, or even your homeboys? Because like you guys and your immediate crew that I see, like everybody's always cool. I've never felt like, oh, I'm a gay guy around all these guys, especially in the gym. Like, always see you guys were always like very well mannered, always like not going out of your way to make me feel comfortable. But I've always felt comfortable. I just felt like a nigga in the gym. So what has your experience been with gay men, or friends of like that are uncomfortable with
Man,
it? Like,
you know what? I'll take that. I'll take it first, because mine happened, luckily for me, at a very, very young age. Honestly, through Joey. I'm not a big fan of like people who bully people or like just get at people. And Joey would come to the shop that I was raised in. I was sweeping this shop, and Joey would come in. He'd be quiet, always cool if you talk to him, but you know he was quiet. And I remember it was one day a barber kind of got at him a little inappropriate, and pretty much just keep in mind Joey's 17, 18 years old. You know, it's
super gay at that point.
It's
Girls.
a very, but a very sensitive age though.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
17, especially
sure.
when it comes to your sexuality.
Yeah.
And one of the barbers told him like they were getting into an argument bagging because Joey got jokes, so they going back and forth bagging. And the dude's feelings was hurt, so he told Joey like, "Why don't you come out the closet?" And Joey's 17, 18 years old, and like I'm like 15, and I'm like, "Ugh, that was low." That was low. And I could see at the end of the day, because this dude's in his mid-20s telling the 17, 18-year-old that, I could see that it affected Joey, and I wasn't a real big fan of it. Mm-hmm. And I remember I pulled Joey aside, and I was like, bro, like, it's all good. Like, you know, it's all good.
Yeah.
Look at EJ.
Actually, the crazy thing, I remember the day, and
was a Big
the
Brother
crazy
program.
thing is, like, I was prepared to fight him. Like, everything about this, because the situation was just, he was very offended in whatever I said, and he just kept coming at me, and he was like, how would you feel if I said that about the girls you date? He goes, are the niggas you fucking? That's what he said. And I remember saying, like, I'm sorry, did you think I was still in the closet? Because at that point, I did come out. So it's just, I didn't express it to the fucking barbershop, because fuck that barbershop. I just like, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, barbershops are a very awkward thing for us.
Gay men,
because
Because you could be sitting in there, they could be talking about gay people.
Well, they talk about such things so openly, which is great, and I do love that. However, you will offend somebody, and somebody like me, I am defensive, and I am going to defend myself, even if you're not talking specifically to me. So going to the barbershop was always a hard thing, and it was tricky because it was like I did have friends there. So it was like, it was one of those things like, are these friends going to stand up for me? Or are they going to like speak? Because they know, you know what I'm saying? And it was hard. Even, I will say, even meeting you guys, you and O in the beginning, like, I remember I didn't really speak too much to you guys. You get what I'm saying? I think you spoke a little bit more than O, but I didn't speak to you guys too much. Yeah, it was a thing where I was like,
EJ, you mean though?
These niggas is football players. They like this gay nigga. But because Jalon is so like, Joey, like, you know, and like, so I felt like you guys eventually started coming around more. You get what I'm saying?
To your point, man, I'm glad you said that, man, because Jalon's a great bridge. Yeah. What about you, O?
Yeah, you know, my experience has been pretty positive my entire life. I've never had like a gay man, you know, try me, you know, in any kind of way. So like on top of that, I have a cousin that's gay, and we've known he was gay since like 4 years old.
You ain't told me?
I guess we never had the conversation about it. No, but like I'm very on top of that. Like my mom's brother-in-law, unfortunately, years ago, he died from AIDS. But like. He was gay, you know, so like there's been people in my family that have been gay, and I have never judged my cousin at all. And because he's family and that close to me, and because I've always been worried about him, because he's younger and I know what kind of world we live in.
Oh, he's young.
He's young. He's 18 now. He's 18 now.
Oh, nigga, I'm thinking you talking about your age.
No. But I mean, our family has known he's been gay since
he was 8.
8 years old. Since he was able to show signs, we've known he was gay.
He was able to do what? he was able to do it again. Do it again, just real quick, please.
So show some signs, you know.
I know Oda just body roll.
It was a full body roll.
No. But what I was saying is that, you know, I've always accepted people as who they are, you know, because of what was been in my family, and I know how cruel this world could be. So my experience has always been positive. You know, we didn't really get to dive in on it, and maybe we could save it for another episode. But one thing that I wanted to touch on before I pass it to Duke was just about heterosexual men and homosexual men hanging out together. And it's not that I don't mind hanging out with y'all, right? But we are very clear, and we all know about the phrase, birds of a feather flock together, right? So I think that's like one reason why like we never see, that kind of interaction between the heterosexual.
Real quick, because we have a brother that we all share, two brothers, Devin and Kevin, that are the most, they open an eye, something for me that I never seen when it comes about like being hetero and us being gay, and like
did I say the wrong word?
No.
Okay.
I'm explaining.
Because you grouped us into a bunch of birds. Is this what you did?
Yeah. So like for instance, these niggas have come to Pride with us, without their girls, with their girls. They done had on rainbow shit. They talking about eating pussy. We talking about sucking dick. And they like, well, nigga, did you deep throat the nigga or not? I'm like, I'm asking, did you play the but that's the convo that we've had with them, where it's like, and I appreciate them and I love them, and they've showed me something that like there's not a barrier. Like with some straight guys, it's a barrier. Like there's a certain wall, but with them, it's not.
And it's respect across the board.
Yeah,
in
of
general.
course.
One day we was doing a video and Trey goes, these are my only two gay
He said,
homeboys.
y'all are my two gay best friends.
Gay best friends. And we corrected him and said, we your friends.
Yeah,
Straight
like
up.
don't call
put
me your
a gay
best
title
friend.
in front
Don't
of
call
it
me your
because
gay friend. Either we're
it
friends
did-
or
it
we're
That's
did-
not.
like protecting him. Kind
You know
of.
what I'm saying? You ain't gonna protect you because, and I didn't war Trey. I didn't cuss Trey out. I didn't cuss like all of them because at the end of the day, the ladies see you guys. And you guys are attractive people. But I don't want who don't want me. So I don't give a fuck how fine you is.
Yeah.
You would never get anything outside of me because we don't have a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
And I'm not in it to try to convince you that you do want it. So if you do want it, then you're gonna holler at me a little later and we're gonna talk about that privately.
Yeah.
But if not, you're my brother, you're my friend. This is the world we're in. I would never see you outside of that. You know what I'm saying?
To answer your question, Brian, I think we're all pretty approachable now that you guys know this, right? And I think for me, it just came with maturity, right? You got to understand that we didn't see this, right? So there is an element of we do have to live up to a certain expectation as men, as black men, where we learn that shit early on, where it's just like, nah, I'm not gay. I don't have no gay friends. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to have no that's a real thing, right?
Yeah.
But until you
want no straight friends.
grow up and figure out that like, nah, I have to be so confident in myself. It's not even just how are you so cool with gay people? It's more of like a personal thing.
Yeah.
Right? No man that's not comfortable himself and super confident himself will never be cool with it. Because when they got to answer the question, they trembling because they're not confident in what they're saying.
Yeah.
For me personally, I never had gay friends growing up, right? I don't even know if
neither.
I played with any teammates, right? But I think I'm okay and cool with gay people now. It has nothing to do with gay people. It's
You
me.
just had an experience.
I'm just confident in who I am.
If you
so
were
it doesn't
playing football today and you knew one of your teammates was openly gay and y'all was butt naked in the showers, do the comfort level, because that's where it becomes. Because the idea of that this man can't do the same job y'all doing with you know what I'm saying?
I think it goes back to what Jay Ryan said is that we don't understand what your type is.
Right.
So because you've openly come out, now I feel like I don't know.
And
so
then
now I'm uncomfortable.
also
Now
everything in life becomes normalized if you're around enough.
Yeah,
So
you're
you're not thinking about it every day if you're around.
It's
all the
crazy
time.
because, like I said, I've always had straight male friends. So for me, like the naked thing that you just brought up, like I don't know why. Like once I put you in a friend category,
That's it.
I don't look at you
I
like
got
that.
you.
So if Jalon was to ever change in front of me, I'm not looking to sneak a
what
peek.
you doing?
I'm not looking to sneak a peek
No,
and be
real
like,
shit. Like,
"Ooh, what's
if you-
Jalon got going
keeping
on?"
it a buck.
Because I literally look at you like my brother, and so it's kind of like ew.
There are some gay men that
I'm
like
gonna wrap that up is what he clapping hands.
Nah, it's cool. Finish your thought, bro. Finish your thought.
Put his lace front down.
Finish your thought, bro.
So what I was saying is there are some men that like whereas straight men you have to break that barrier to become more comfortable. Because for us, we not gonna try y'all. We not gonna try some other niggas. We might try one of y'all homies, but we not gonna
want
try
your
niggas
friend.
that we actually have a real relationship with.
And that's the big thing for me because I style men.
That's tight.
That was the big thing for me because I will always step out of the room or I will always give them the respect because it is the dynamic what it is.
Yeah.
And I've the whole time I styled, people would hit me like, yeah, y'all be fucking, y'all be this. I was like, first of all, y'all don't understand how much I just do not like. You know what I'm saying? Like that is really family to me.
Yeah.
But everybody that I've ever styled, you know what I'm saying? And we both worked with Tank before. And Tank was a person very on that helped break that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I used to think Tank was fine back in the day. To Tank like he farted. And he's like, shit, my nigga, we niggas in here. And so, because it smelled so bad, it turned me off. I was like, you right. You now, brother. Like, once you're in that category of what we are as family, like, I don't see nothing else.
We way out of time. The conversation was so good, so we just had to keep going. But I definitely want to thank you guys for coming, man. Appreciate you. This was a much needed conversation, man. And we always talk about what we could do to just make the world better, to make our dynamic better, to just be positive representations of who we are. So thank you for helping us do that, man. So you guys are homies, man. Anytime. Appreciate y'all. All right.
For sure.
So check it out. If you are watching this right now, man, make sure you give us a subscribe. If you're listening to it, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that jazz. Okay. If you are listening, also let us know what you thought about the episode. Fellas, let us know if there were anything that you could relate to. Ladies, let us know if we were on point. If you're gay and you're watching this or listening to this right now, let us know how you felt, right? And also, what's important is let us know what straight men can do to help better the dynamic between gay and straight men. Please put it in the comments. We would love the feedback because, you know, I think that's what makes us better and makes the world go around. But appreciate you guys for tapping in with us. Jay Ryan, Brian, EJ, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the 100.